Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. On the face of it, it's a super easy question, but why do so many of us freeze when we're asked it at interview or at the beginning of a Zoom call or at a drinks party? In today's video, I'm going to focus on answering this question effectively in an interview context. You also might learn something about how to answer it effectively in other contexts too. My name's Lucy. My channel's called Lucy on Life. I'm all about helping people be happy in work and in life and sharing videos about all kinds of topics. Today, I'm talking about effectiveness at interviews and specifically about how to answer the dreaded "tell me about yourself" question. I've made another video about prepping for job interviews more broadly, which I'll link to below. So if you're looking for a job, do watch that one as well, and very, very best of luck with your job search. Right, let's crack on. Firstly, let's just put ourselves in the shoes of the interviewer. They've got a day of interviews ahead of them. They've got a pile of CVs in front of them. They've got a vacancy to fill, so they're busy and worrying about making a great appointment to fill that vacancy. And they are asking questions to help make a decision. So they are looking for information that will help them find the best candidate for this role. I've interviewed probably dozens, if not hundreds of people for jobs over my career. I think I've probably asked a version of this question in every interview that I've ever done. The real reason interviewers ask this question is to hear in your own words both your motivation and reason for applying for this role and your skills and experience for this role. So whilst in some ways it's a gift of a question because you know the answer to it, constructing a good answer that contains your motivation, your experience and your skills is the key to answering this question well. It's an opportunity essentially to summarise in one concise answer why you're the right person for this role. And if it's the question that they ask you first, it's also an opportunity to make a brilliant first impression, and we know how much first impressions count. I'm going to unpack how to create a killer answer to this question, which you can use for interviews that you've got coming up. Firstly, let's start with some don'ts. Now, just as I've said, the interviewers will have a pile of job applications or CVs in front of them. And so they will have yours at the top, hopefully yours at the top. Once I was in an interview where I saw somebody else's application on the desk across from me, which was a bit awkward. But anyway, so they will have your CV right in front of them. So when you answer the question, tell me about yourself, you do not need to list every single job you've ever done. They've got that right there in front of them. Don't make your answer to this question up on the hoof. It's very likely to come up, or some version of it, so prep an answer. You can construct a great answer to this, and I'm going to come on to how to do that at the end. And the third piece is don't ramble on. Don't tell them things that are irrelevant. This isn't a social setting, this is a job interview, so talk about your career and talk about the relevant skills that you've got for the job that you're applying for. The formula I would recommend to construct a perfect answer to this question is to start with the now. So start with the job that you're doing now and draw out the responsibilities in that role are, how they apply to the job that you're applying for, and some of the achievements that you've had and some of the skills that you've got that apply to this role. So essentially, why the move from the job you're in to the job that you've applied for, and what they would be getting if they appoint you, and why it's relevant to the role. So think of that in your answer. Then briefly mention how you got to the job that you're in now. So the skills and accomplishments from the past that led you to be doing the job that you're in right now. Do this briefly, don't go back over your whole career. And then move to connect all of that experience to the job that you're applying for and explain why you're a great fit. It's really important, therefore, to tailor-make your answer to this question to the job that you're applying for. So always review to make sure that your answer is applicable to the job that you're talking about today, and the skills that it asks for, the experience that it wants. I'd encourage that you practice your answer to this question, but don't write out a script and try and memorise it so that you sound like a robot. I think just keep in mind the key areas that you want to get across and do practice them. Also practice delivery to make sure you don't go on too long. I think a perfect timing would be something like 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes for your answer. Remember the busy interviewer, and if you can be concise and get all your points across in a nice, clean, concise answer, that will really score you highly in their mind. And don't forget to convey your passion and excitement for the role. They want to hire somebody that's really motivated, who is excited to join their team, that they're going to have fun working with. So do try to explain your motivations in a way that is passionate and real. I kid you not, I've interviewed people in the past who really just seemed like they were going through the motions and you couldn't tell why they wanted the job. Make sure that you convey that motivation. I'm really excited to work for your company. I've been looking at some of the achievements that you've been doing, and I want to bring my skills to work on that team as well. You know, to talk about how excited you are to join the team. If you can do all of that, and you can do all of that in a good, 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes answer, then I think you'll have got the interview off to a really good start as well, because if they have asked that question early on in the process, then what's great about that is that if you deliver that first question well, then you'll start to relax for the rest of the interview. So like I say, I've got a full video that I've put together on interview tips and how to smash it at interview. So do go on and watch that one if you're in the job hunt at the moment. I hope you've learned something from today's video. Really best of luck if you're looking for a job. And yeah, I just wanted to reflect on how often now we're often in meetings via Zoom, and there's often a tell me about yourself type question at the beginning of a Zoom when nobody knows each other. I would encourage a similar sort of thinking in terms of, put yourself in other people's shoes, of everybody else on the Zoom. Don't be nervous about what you're going to say. Prep it, and also keep concise, key points delivered nicely, and and show some enthusiasm for being on the Zoom. A few smiles don't go amiss. So I think that this question, tell me about yourself, whilst I've focused today on job interviews, I think there are applicabilities for outside life as well. So whether that's in a Zoom or a cocktail party or just, I don't know, any other social setting, I think having a few prepared lines is quite a useful thing to have. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so very much for watching. Give me a like to tell me that you've liked it. Drop a comment below. Are there other questions you've come across that you'd like me to help you answer, whether that's at interview or on a Zoom? I publish new content every Wednesday, so do subscribe if you'd like to keep up with what I'm putting out there. Thank you for watching. See you next time.